XRP, VeChain, and Dogecoin. Is it time to be fearful or is it time to go shopping? That's what we're going to cover in this video, and you're going to have specific levels and strategies when to flip mentalities if you watch all the way to the end. So new viewers, here's what my channel does for you. I know that you're out there mostly watching crypto YouTube videos that cover news and or project fundamentals, and that's good. However, those channels do not help you understand what you're doing when you're clicking around with your money, because I would say far over half of those videos come out after the project already had the vast majority of its run. And it's honestly, those coins are often covered when it's time to be selling. It's rare that you see videos covered about a project right before a pump happens, right? So they're typically covered during a pump near the end. So my channel helps you understand, wait, in a statistically sound trade right now, if I click around with my money or Pokemon cards, because that's all we talk about here on this channel. So anything that I say within this video are things that I personally would do, and because I do not offer financial advice, this is for entertainment and Pokemon card education trading information only. So no time to waste. Hit like and subscribe for me, returning viewers. Kind of forgot to say that, but let's get into it right now. All right. XRP, is it time to go shopping? Well, the first thing I notice on this chart is that XRP is pretty low. I mean, it's in its lowest channel. And typically altcoins on a run, they'll often try to go somewhere on the origin line, either at the top line or, if not quite so bullish, they'll at least hit the bottom line typically during a run, right? So let's say this run lasts until, let's say May 2022. Right? So the top line, I mean, $80 XRP, that's pretty high in my opinion. However, the bottom line, these origin lines don't really lie. They don't mess things up too often. They just don't. So this is saying, on the moderate end, that this run could be pretty powerful till the end of the year. I mean, and like hitting $40, honestly, hitting that line is easily doable. So to answer the question, is it time to go shopping? I mean, it depends on what you want. Do you want to buy a low, which my returning viewers know that you don't try buying lows because you can't do it and you can't sell tops really either. Trading is just not that easy. And if it were, everybody'd be rich, but everybody's not rich. So, I mean, it looks like right now, in terms of XRP Pokemon cards only, to be dollar cost averaging in these moments, and is probably a potentially sound idea, because this chart looks like there's a heck of a lot of room for upside potential. This could be a scare down. Now, would I pull? So if I had $1,000 to spend right now, right? Either that's Tether or capital, in my bank that I've reserved for crypto and I don't want to touch. Would I buy $1,000 of XRP right now? No, because the possibility of XRP coming down to this line to around 60 cents in the high 50s, I mean, it's definitely present. That chance is present because look how many times it's bounced. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, actually 5, 6, and it could easily be the seventh one. So I would reserve. So if I had $1,000 to spend on Pokemon cards, the Pokemon cards that say Ripple, I mean, I would pull the trigger on some personally, and that's what dollar cost averaging is, right? You dollar cost average, and if it keeps going down, great. You keep, getting some for cheaper. But if it starts turning around, well, then you're dollar cost averaging the other way as well. That's just how it goes. You never know the exact moment to pull the trigger, but now doesn't look like a horrible time to be dollar cost averaging into these Pokemon cards. It looks pretty good. So let's look at XRP on an EMA basis, and let's see how well it's holding up versus Bitcoin and Ethereum. So on the weekly chart, Bitcoin and Ethereum are both closing below the weekly 10 EMA. And so XRP is postured a little bit like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's about at its 20. So that yellow line, let me take off the other ones. The yellow line is the weekly 21 EMA. It's extremely healthy to come test it as support after you screen past it. So really, this posturing is not that bad. Because these lines right here were not respected on the way up. You went straight from down to up, right? So it never said, hey, I'm going to respect these lines. These lines needed some respect, so they're getting a little love right now. So from a structural standpoint, this looks honestly really good. And the time to flip really bullish on Ethereum, I'll tell you right now, it's really easy. Watch. When a weekly candle, so not a 1 hour candle for new viewers, like I'm not saying price just sneaks above for an hour. That doesn't count. If a week closes even a tiny bit above this line, which I have at $1.31. If a week closes at $1.31 or higher, that would be your time to flip very bullish, because the rule of thumb with ranges is if you have a weekly range, the first candle to sneak a close right above provides a very high likelihood that the week thereafter is a pretty massive green candle, in which XRP would probably come up and test the highs of here. I mean, it'd probably go in the deep 150s, 160s. I don't know if it would test the candle closings or the wicks, but I mean, it could go, the next week could begin the test. It might only take a couple weeks to do that too. So within, after that closing happens, within 2 to 3 weeks, I would expect the area between 160 and $1.80 to be tested, but that's what you'd be looking for. Now, what happens if next week it just comes way up here, right? Like way up there, but the week hasn't closed? Who cares? That's not a closing, because the likelihood of that being a wick and the week actually closes down here is very high. So it's all about the weekly closure. That's when I would personally flip bullish on XRP. When would I be bearish? I mean, I wouldn't be bearish for quite a while on this asset. I mean, even if you came down to like under 60 cents, that's just your 7th bounce. There's nothing wrong with that. I would view that not as bearish or freak out time, but rather, I mean, a time to be dollar cost averaging perhaps a little bit more aggressively. So there's nothing wrong with this chart, and it honestly looks pretty good. But you do have a pretty deep downside target, right? If Bitcoin keeps going down, breaks this range, Bitcoin goes to 40K, you're going to have 56 cent XRP. That is what's going to happen. If Bitcoin goes down to 40K, this is probably going to hit under 60 cents. So I want to be very, very direct with that, right? And so if you want to go over to the to Bitcoin to see what that would look like, you have a Bitcoin range, very defined range right now. And Bitcoin just wicked below that range. But so this bottom line right here is the bottom, right? So if Bitcoin closes a day below here, you're probably going to get some more downside movement. And it's probably going to hit 39 to 40K, which is about the bottom of this previous range here. So it's probably going to come test about to that point. And when that happens, XRP will likely make its way down to the 60 cent range. And it would likely be an okay time to try dollar cost averaging. So you can use the Bitcoin chart in addition to your XRP chart to know, hey, I have a better idea of what I'm doing when I'm clicking around with my money. So downside target over here, if Bitcoin starts bouncing right here, well, you're also going to have a pretty darn similar range on XRP. So if Bitcoin closes within in its range, I would fully expect XRP the next day, maybe tomorrow on Tuesday, to get back above $1.04. So I would say that this candle closes below and the next day gets back $1.04 if Bitcoin can stay within its range, and then it'll probably grind out some more time. And then finally close the candle above here, and if that also lands on the end of the week above $1.31 or something on the weekly chart, that would be your time to be looking for an explosive move up on XRP. So that's what we got here. Let's move on to VeChain. All right, let's test this on the weekly chart. Ugh. VeChain's not postured as good. Okay, so last week, even before this, VeChain was looking, it closed below its weekly 21. VeChain is probably going to wick past this origin line that I have drawn here, just like this week. It's probably going to behave almost identically. So I have a pretty clear downside, and that would probably align with, you might go all the way down to here. I don't think it'd go that low. I would say my downside target would be a wick, and I would say 7.2 cents. So I'm going to put a box right there, and let's see if my box is hit. And listen, if you are, chest pounding, oh, VeChain, the best thing out there, that's fine. But I'm giving you a very statistically sound price target to be able to get more VeChain, right? So if you like VeChain, you should actually like it at lower levels so you can have more. So I wouldn't thumbs down a video just because I'm not bullish on VeChain in the moment. To make money in crypto, you need red candles, right? What do you want? Do you want more VeChain or the same amount of VeChain? Ask yourself that question sincerely. Well, if you don't like downside targets, that means you want the same amount of VeChain and you want to keep it forever, right? But if you have faith in VeChain going up, why not want more of it? To get more of it, that means lower prices so you can buy at a discount, right? potentially selling some at some places up here, and then buying back during a dip. So that's a pretty specific price target. I mean, it could, so this range on VeChain, I guess I have it between 6 cents to 7.5. So I'll write that in there. There you go. So that's the price target for VeChain. Yeah, it has a lot more downside pressure, mostly because this previous week before this move down already closed below the weekly 21. So what that means from a mass psychology trading perspective, because that's what makes price move, right? It's the psychology of human beings clicking around with your money, which is why it's so important to know what you're doing when you're clicking around with your money, or you're just going to get your money taken from you. I'm telling you. And that's why I made this channel, for you all to supplement that within your crypto journey to make it more profitable. But anyway, so VeChain might wick down here. That could end up being a good buy, but it has more downside pressure than most coins because of that weekly closure, right? The previous weekly closure. So the time that I would be worried is if VeChain doesn't stay above 6 cents. And even on the 1 hour chart, you see it go below there and you see tiny little candles using that as resistance. That would be bad. Then VeChain would probably come down to just barely sub 5, hit this next origin line down. So if this line can't hold, I would give a price target of, now I don't think this is probable to happen. I bet VeChain can hold this line within this box. So if Bitcoin heads sub 40, like maybe in the mid 30s, I would say VeChain's going to hit this line, this next line down sub 5, right? Or right around 5 cents, a wick pass, maybe down to 4.5 cents on the bearish case. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is not a 0% chance of happening. It's higher than 0%, so I thought I would mention that. But I think my most likely downside target would be here. And even if the market turns around and Bitcoin jumps right back into its trading range, which I've already shown you, I still think this might bleed out. Give that a quick test. Almost like Solana. If you haven't watched my Solana video from today, it's going to be similar stuff. Assuming Bitcoin doesn't start screaming up, this will probably slowly bleed out and hit this level and then recover from there. And probably actually ride this line for a bit, recover. So, I mean, I wouldn't honestly see... I don't see this... I don't see VeChain breaking 15 cents until the middle of November. It's going to have a... Maybe next week could just come do it, and then it starts recovering, comes up. I guess it could be October. I would say late October to mid-November is when you're going to break this. And then after this horizontal right here, made by these candles on the weekly, after that's broken, it'll probably race right up to all-time highs, which would only take maybe 3 to 4 weeks after that. So by the end of the year, this could do all-time highs. However, it is struggling right now more than a lot of the other big cap coins because VeChain, in terms of YouTube and the hype and how many new buyers are being introduced to it with information on YouTube, its luster is being stolen, by other coins getting more activity. Like VeChain isn't the talk of the town. So because the sell pressure is going to be about the same anyway, and you have a reduced buy pressure because, the market's more saturated with other hotter, sexier, newer coins, this might struggle to get back above this line longer than other coins and to break all-time highs. This looks like it will take a little bit longer than other coins on page 1 of CoinMarketCap that are in the top 20, to be very frank with you. And I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm trying to give you, statistical likelihoods or statistical, bearings, like a compass, right? So which way am I going? That might not be good news for you, but at least I'm letting you know what I think. All right. And typically my analysis isn't that bad, especially with altcoins. I really know how altcoins move. And if you're new to this channel, I know it's hard to understand that until you see it happen. But just check out my other videos. Go a few months past, right, in the back and see what I was saying. I wasn't saying $700 chain link, right? I wasn't saying $25 Cardano. Hell no, I wasn't. I was giving downside targets for Cardano, for example, and they hit. Actually, no, my lowest one did not hit for Cardano. Cardano actually held stronger. That was a bad example. But a lot of my a lot of my downside targets hit. And a lot of people who are new, they just can't believe it, right, when you hear it. But once, well, and a lot of my subs come from, once it does hit, they go, oh shit, that blonde, stupid looking guy who sometimes has ducks in his office, he was right, so I'll go check out his channel. So you might not want to hear it, but I'm telling you, this has a darn good chance of happening. So for new viewers. Now, my returning viewers, you already know. All right, so let's go to Dogecoin. Ugh, Dogecoin too. That's even worse. Oh my goodness. Dogecoin has a lot. Dogecoin. That's not good. So you both opened and closed a week under the weekly 21. This is not going to recover fast at all. So this is going to recover even slower, folks. And I'm sorry to say that. If you are heavily invested in this coin, I know you want good news. But I'm not here to give you good news. I'm here to tell you how it is. And if you don't like how it is, then, I mean, you can separate yourself from reality all you want. But, and maybe my channel's not for people who just want to be bullish all the time. This asset needs to put in some time down here. This is going to revisit sub 20. It's probably going to hit 17 cents. I think it needs to put in its time. So what you're going to have is a series of oscillations like this. And then once you break above that oscillator, it'll fly up to the next one, maybe fail it, then fly up to the next one. Yeah. I would be shocked if, so Dogecoin's in the position right now. I would be shocked if Dogecoin broke all-time highs by the end of the year. And I assume that Bitcoin will break all-time highs by the end of the year. I don't see it happening for Dogecoin. I don't see it. I think it's significantly less than 50% probable. And again, you might not want to hear it, but I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear, right? Yeah, this is even weaker. And so if you want to see stronger altcoins, go to my other altcoin video that I uploaded today, Solana, Phantom, and Luna, and see the difference, right? The second two, Phantom and Luna, I said these are among the strongest charts on, in the top 50 of CoinMarketCap, and here is why. And so if you go watch that video after watching this one, you will see the difference. So sometimes you need a point of relativity. I suggest go watch it at 1.5x speed or something. Go to that and then rewatch this video, and you'll see what I'm saying a lot more. Especially if you're a big fan of a coin, I understand that what I'm saying, potentially causes an emotional response. However, going to watch the other video to see strength might help tamper that down. But yeah, this is going to put in some time down here, folks, and it's probably going to do it more than once. It's probably going to do that. And that puts you in the middle of November to start the recovery. So I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, you didn't get your breakouts when Bitcoin was acting just fine. So this needs more time. And so from an EMA standpoint, a pretty common play is that these EMAs are going to converge together, make a cup looking thing, and then the recovery will start. So the red will probably dip below the yellow just for a hot minute. And then it'll come back above. They'll converge like that. And so I'll keep the EMA guess in there. I can erase this, that, and then I'll make my price guess what that'll look like. I'll go to the daily though. Something to that effect. That'll have the EMAs cross. And that'll take you to December. So by December, it'll be in full recovery mode, getting back over this little local high here. I'd really have to race to. It will be close. If this breaks all-time high by the end of the year, it's going to be very close to the end of the year, around Christmas or New Year or something like that. It could. I think it's unlikely, but it might be like 25 to 30% likely that it breaks all-time highs by the end of the year. So it's not crazy unlikely because this path actually allows it to, especially if it gets hot after breaking this. Maybe puts in some time, then screen. It'd have to get really hot really fast. I don't see it happening, but it definitely is possible. So that's what I got for Dogecoin. And again, if this is like, the bearer of bad, bearish news, oh, Tim, all that stuff, I get it. Go watch, I'm serious, go stop. Go watch my Solana Phantom Luna video, and you'll see what positions of strength are, and this will make so much more sense, especially if you're a new viewer. If you're a returning viewer, then you already know what's up. So anyway, if you liked, or more importantly, newer viewers, if you didn't like what you saw, that is reason to give this a thumbs up, I'm telling you. Sometimes hearing what you don't like is what you need, right? So so returning viewers, if I can stop stuttering, blah, 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 hit like, subscribe if you're new, and if you do subscribe because you are new, let me know whether you want to be a cryptillion or a crypto crackhead. Those are the gender neutral pronouns that we use both within the YouTube free community and the Discord Patreon community. Links down below. When you go to that website, if you want to check it out with no commitment, I post live examples like Google Docs links, so you can see exact examples of the type of exclusive content that I provide for each tier, so you can better decide for yourself, hey, is this blonde dude with a dash or a Bitcoin hat on most of the time? Would this be worth my time and money? So go check that out, and see y'all next time. Be safe out there. Go shopping just a little bit, but not too extravagantly, and y'all just got Timified.